We're live.
We are.
Welcome, everyone. It's the March 2019 edition of Heritage in History with Maureen Taylor and
Amy Johnson Crow.
There we go. So we're like 2 minutes late because we had a little technical difficulty on my end. But here we are. And our format, if you're first time watching us, is we talk about things in the genealogy news. We talk about websites, we talk about apps, we talk about books that we're reading.
We talk about all kinds of stuff.
We talk about all kinds of stuff. So, join in because it's the Be Live platform and we can see your comments and we can respond to them. Okay. Where shall we start?
Let's start with, I think, kind of the obvious. Let's start with Roots Tech.
Okay, I got several emails last week.
I was going to say, people said, interesting.
People said, Roots Tech, what's that?
Wow.
Right. Because for us, it's all our world.
Yeah.
But I did not realize that I had people on my list who had no awareness of what Roots Tech was about.
I hope you straightened them out.
I did, and I apologize for making an assumption. But yes, we can talk about Roots Tech. Amy was there, and I was here, but there.
I was going to say, you were there virtually. You had an interesting Roots Tech experience.
Yes, I lived on Mountain Time for the whole week.
Which was interesting considering you were still
in Rhode Island.
East Coast, yeah.
Right. So yeah, I can just summarize what happened was I took a tumble, couldn't go to Roots Tech, and some people really stepped up and offered some amazing things to me. I recorded my portion of my Power Hour panel because Roots Tech doesn't allow live streaming at all. So I recorded it and they were nice enough to play it, the other two guys. And they let me listen into their presentations because I had, helped coordinate the whole thing. I wanted to know what they were going to say.
Great.
So I sort of listened in, but it was a recording for that one. And then I was supposed to do a live presentation in the Family Tree Maker booth. And they were like, "You're not here? No problem. Let's try it." So they beamed me in and I had a full room each time.
Awesome.
And people would come up and hold up photographs to the webcam, can you help me with this? And then I some Vivipix gave me a monitor in my booth so I could run a slideshow that I recorded, and people volunteered in my booth, and that was really cool. One of the women, Lori Dismaris, she's so fun. She says to me, she goes, "You got an iDevice? I've got an iDevice." So when people came by the booth, she just FaceTimed me. Mm-hmm. So it's sort of like I was there.
Yeah.
And MemoryWeb gave me space in their booth to do live consultations from the conference. So it was very funny because it was me on a little a laptop monitor looking out. So I sort of felt like I was there. I could hear the noise and I could see everyone, and people would come up and show me their photos and we'd chat or whatever. And then some people that we know in common would be sort of walking by and looking in the booth, and all of a sudden they'd come by and they'd put their heads really close to the webcam and they'd be like, "It is you." So, I mean, I made the best of it.
Yeah.
I would rather have been there, and then Amy, you were on the ground. Actually, we already have a question. Somebody wants to know if will either of us be at NGS in St. Charles.
I'm not planning on it.
I will be there, Julie. I don't have a booth this time though. So find me in the MemoryWeb booth.
There you go.
I'm just going to do a few things there, and then this is going to be shocking, but I'm going to go to lectures.
You're going to go to lectures?
I'm going to go to lectures.
I had not braced myself sufficiently for that.
I need the DNA help. It will never sink in.
It will.
No, it won't. It's like a foreign language I'm never going to learn. Give me a visual clue all the time, but the DNA, you pull up the Excel spreadsheets and I'm lost.
Oh, you see, Excel spreadsheets, those are like my second language.
Right.
I do love me a good spreadsheet.
And I do not.
Yeah.
Not at all.
But it's why we get along so well. I mean, it's sort of that.
We got the right brain, left brain going here.
We do. We really do.
It's hysterical. So Roots Tech London is Deborah Stock.
Oh.
I don't know.
I
I didn't
wish.
propose.
I didn't either.
It's expensive.
Yeah, but it's London.
I know. But isn't it in Birmingham? Deborah, is it in Birmingham?
Or is that the other one?
I think they're all in Birmingham.
I've lost track.
I know there are 3 of them over there this year. 3.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, you got all sorts of learning opportunities over there.
And here we go. Deborah Holman says, I don't get the DNA either. Thank you, Deborah.
Well, we can get there. We can do it.
I don't know. That's why I'm going to go to lectures.
We're smart women. We can figure it out.
That's why I'm going to go to lectures. So
Exactly.
I'm going to try to figure it out. I'm going to take, I figure the more I listen to it, maybe it'll start sinking in.
And somebody will say something a certain way, and then it'll click for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So here's the thing about Excel spreadsheets. I'm taking another writing class on how to write fiction. I've been doing this for about 3 years now, and I got a little graduate certificate in it, but I still don't feel very confident about it because it's so different than nonfiction.
Right.
And the teacher is showing us how to chart our books, and he uses Excel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't get it. I have a mental block.
Oh, instead of using Excel, use Trello.
Trello. You know what I did? I use Numbers for the Mac.
That works.
Which somehow, so I started charting my book using Numbers on the Mac.
So you do realize that that's basically Excel, right?
Somehow the way it's presented is so much easier.
Okay, as long as it works for you.
Yeah, well, here's the really funny thing. My husband just got a new sort of part-time job. He's going to be teaching business stuff, including Excel, to adults here locally.
Yeah.
And so he was working on his presentation for the interview for the job, and he's like, "Come on up here," because he figured if he could explain it to me. And I shouldn't beat on myself, but Excel is just not my thing. So more power to you, Amy. But anyway. Tell us about your Roots Tech experience, your booth looked amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a little bit of fun with fabric.
You did.
I did. It was very good. It was a very good experience. It was very tiring, but it was great meeting so many people. Wednesday night, Thursday, it was just nonstop. Friday was the typical. And I've noticed this in other years when I've been working other booths, that Friday, people tend to chill a little bit more in the exhibit hall because they're realizing they need to pace themselves for one more day of the conference. But then Saturday picked right back up. Of course, you had the Family Discovery Day, and that was,
oh yeah, that's crazy.
That was wild. But no, it was great. Launched a brand new thing, if I can mention that.
You launched a new thing?
I did launch a new thing. I launched a new membership called the Generations Cafe Circle.
Cool.
And it's an online membership with more in-depth trainings than what I can really do on the blog or on the podcast. Monthly Q&A, access to me. And it's like, wow, access to you. But one thing that I've noticed is that, and I've noticed this, watching webinars, is that I'll watch a webinar or an online class, and then 2 weeks later I'll have a question and there's no way to ask the teacher anything.
Right.
So I built that into the membership so that there's a community and I'm in there so everybody can keep learning, and it isn't just one way. There's actually interaction with it. So yeah, so
that's good. That's very exciting.
Yeah, so that's the Generations Cafe Circle.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah. I'll have to check it out. We have some comments, and I have multiple touch points on my website for people to contact me, including this little tab that pops up that says help, and they can click on that.
Yeah.
But I like your circle thing. Okay, so here we go. Wow, we got a lot of catching up to do.
Oh, we do.
Roots Tech London is in London, right on the Thames. Ooh. Could I go twice in 1 year?
Why not?
I could.
now we're
I need a
repeating our travel
vacation.
plans.
I totally need a vacation. The genealogy show in June is in Birmingham.
That's what I thought.
That's the one I was talking to Kirsty about. And then Family Tree Live in April is in London.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of genealogy.
Yeah, it is, but it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And 2 out of the 3 are in London.
Right.
Right.
But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Roots Tech London, that could be pretty cool. What an excuse to go to London.
Like we need an excuse.
I never need an excuse.
I don't need an excuse.
No, I don't either. All right, here we go. We have more comments. So Michelle Sullivan said that Excel will now convert tables that you photograph.
I'll have to play with that.
Yeah, hold on. She gave us a link.
Ooh.
So that'll be in the comments on the Facebook Live.
I will have to play. Thanks for that heads up, Michelle. I will play with that for you, Maureen.
Thank you. Thank you. I have no interest.
I will take one for the team on that one.
Okay, so Kate Keller wants to know, how does one get membership to your new thing, Amy?
The website, you can get all the information at amyjohnsoncrow.com/circle.
Here we go. Somebody else actually gave us the link.
That works. Thank
it's
you,
up
Michelle.
on the screen, but it's also in the comments.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Michelle.
Wow. So what else, Roots Tech?
What else, Roots Tech? Seemed like there were all sorts of new announcements about DNA. I would love to talk about ancestry through lines, but I don't have them yet.
We were talking about that because at one point you worked for Ancestry.
Yeah, apparently something about my tree, they still have it, and there's something specific to my tree since I used to work for Ancestry. So they're hopefully going to get that straightened out, because I really do not want to recreate that tree. So I don't have through lines, but one thing that I do have, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about this other new feature with the Ancestry trees, and that is the new tagging feature. So, you know,
I've seen a lot of debate about that.
I love it. Actually, I do, because I mean, they still have tweaks, but I love the concept of it, because if you do it right, you don't have to upload those profile pictures of my Quaker ancestor, and you put up you turn his profile picture into the Quaker Oats guy.
Yeah.
And then it clutters up everybody's photo hints.
Ooh, my heritage tells you not to do that.
Yeah.
For your profile pictures. They're like,
right.
Don't do it.
Yeah, and people still do. But so now on Ancestry, there are these different tags that they have. I think you can also make your own custom tags. But now, instead of having to do your own workaround of changing the profile pic so that you can quickly find your Quaker ancestors, you can just tag them. Like you can in just about every other modern database.
Yeah, I mean, people are saying they love the tagging. And then Nicole Sparks says the tags are public if the tree is.
Right. The tags are public if the tree is. But even if your tree isn't public, you can still use tags. It's just other people won't see it because your tree isn't public.
So Julie's saying that she was able to fill in some missing people on her tree using the through lines.
Yeah.
So while I was not at Roots Tech sitting in a booth, I was here watching the live streaming from the conference, and I watched Diane Southard's talk one day, and it's online now, and you can watch it. It's on YouTube, So before you jump to conclusions, Julie, that these are actual relatives, through lines sometimes throws in people that are sort of not related.
Right. The through lines really need to be treated as hints.
Yes.
And it's kind of one of the things that I really liked about what MyHeritage did, because they just did something similar, but they call it the theory of family relativity. And I know that they're playing off of the Einstein's theory of relativity. But I love that they have the word theory in there. That this isn't absolutely 100% positive, but this is a theory. Go check it out.
Right. Well, when I listened to Diane's talk, I mean, it was quite the eye opener when she talks about how, how these things pop up and how you have to prove them and the percentages and all this kind of thing. But she specifically used through lines. Well, she used all of them.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting to hear her take on it. And the take on all the DNA people throughout the conference was basically their hints. You have to prove them.
Yeah.
Don't take them as. And so we just wonder how many wrong trees are going to get put up.
But let's look at it on the flip side. How many trees are going to get corrected?
Right. Maybe so.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's another way of looking at it. It's another way of us to be able to work with the data that's already there. So,
right.
Like I said, I would love to comment on my firsthand experience, but I don't have any yet.
You will, and you will figure it out, and then you will tell us how it works.
I will tell you how it works.
Yeah, I got this weird thing that said through lines. So then I went back and reattached the tree that I had, and then it said, do you want to use DNA circles? So there wasn't any through lines there. But then when I scrolled down my Ancestry page, there was this weird chart with me and this other person that supposedly I matched on their tree, which it was a name I'd never heard before. Mm-hmm. So I'm not really sure.
I don't have that yet. So.
Oh, look at this. There's a tag called hypothesis.
Ooh, I like
that. That's nice.
I like that.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's most of my tree before 1800. Still working on that proof.
Still working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to set aside some time and really play with the tags because I think that there's a lot of possibility in there. So, we can flag these people. We can better work with it. And I've seen some people well, that's only helpful if your only tree is on Ancestry. And I don't think that that's necessarily the case. Now, my understanding is, at least right now, until they get the API changed with Family Tree Maker, that the tags aren't coming through yet. But my understanding is eventually they will.
Yeah, I think so.
But even if your desktop software is something that isn't connected to your Ancestry tree, I still think that these could be really, really useful.
It could be useful, especially for non-paternity events.
Yeah, there's that. What if you're doing another project where you're working on Civil War ancestors, or what if you have a community? I think the tags would be awesome if you're constructing a tree for a community project. And it's not just your ancestry, but rather it's the tree keeping track of members of a community. You could use those tags for all sorts of things.
Yeah, I mean, people are saying there's a brick wall tag, which doesn't want to show up. There we go.
Yeah, it should have a great big brick wall.
Right. There's a verified and unverified. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So what was your, I was exhausted just from doing it here. Never mind being at the conference. But what was your takeaway? This is your first time having a booth?
It was my first time having my own booth. I've worked several other booths
of course.
For years. Yeah. But it was exhausting. I'm not going to lie. It was exhausting. Glad that I had very comfortable shoes. But it was very good. Like I said, meeting a lot of people, and anybody who's watching this, if you stop by my booth, thank you. I really do appreciate it. But just seeing everybody, I didn't make it to any sessions except for my own, unfortunately.
Well,
but no, Roots Tech to me is always very energizing. It's exhausting, but it's energizing. Right. Because the different things that I did pick up on while I was in the exhibit hall, different things that I was hearing, seeing comments from bloggers and on social media and whatnot. Like, oh, I want to try this. I want to try that. I want to learn more about this product over here. Gave me a lot of ideas, and just, getting feedback from people who have been listening to the podcast or reading the blog. That was invaluable. To be able to take that and then turn around and create more content with it.
I have to fix our page. Somebody is hacking our page.
Well,
so give me a minute. Keep talking.
I will keep talking. So next year,
there we go.
Next year, Roots Tech Salt Lake is that same weekend. It's that last weekend. I know that it's over Leap Day next year. So we get to spend our extra day next year in Salt Lake.
Okay. Tell me run that by me one more time. When is it?
It's the same weekend next year. So next year's a leap year. So we get to spend Leap Day in Salt Lake next year, February 29th.
Oh, really?
And let me go over here.
How can I block this guy? I really want to block him. I'll figure that out later. Anyway,
okay.
Sorry, folks. We have these unintended comments, and I deleted them, but
some people just can't play nice.
He's still looking at the page, and he's,
Yeah.
I'll try to fix it afterwards.
So Roots
my
Tech
God.
I'll just keep going. Roots Tech 2020 will be held February 26th to 29th in Salt Lake.
So no weekend?
Yeah,
what you're
it's
saying?
weekend.
Saturday.
It's still a weekend. Yeah, I think the 29th is Saturday.
Well, we need a leap year party.
Well, that would be fun.
I'll put that on my calendar since I already, signed up for a booth.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Let me see. I'm looking at, can I move it? My calendar is not cooperating with me, which is kind of the story of my life lately. Yeah, so that will still be Wednesday through Friday. Or I'm sorry, Wednesday through Saturday.
Perfect.
26th to the 29th.
Perfect.
So, yay.
Maybe I should make my hotel reservation now.
Make it now.
Right. So that's Roots Tech. Awfully fun.
It is.
And I mean, what else have we had time to do?
I don't know about you, but I've had time to do nothing else.
No, not much. I mean, I was here, so I wasn't, running around at the conference. I was doing some research, trying to figure out if I was related to Johnny Appleseed.
Oh, fun!
Not.
I know where I've been to his grave.
You have?
Buried. Yeah, you know where he's buried, don't you? He's buried in Fort Wayne.
Oh, that's right, he is.
Because he came out and he was doing all his Apple stuff across northern Ohio, and he ended up in the Fort Wayne area, and he's actually buried real close to the Coliseum there.
Yeah, I don't think there's a connection. It might be a very distant collateral connection. But anyway, that's what I was doing while you were there. And then I, picked up some books to read.
Yeah, so what are you reading?
Oh, I got a little stack over here. So my neighbor just gave me this one called The Dig, which is interesting. It's all about the Sutton Hoo dig, which is the Anglo-Saxon discovery out in the fields of, where is it? Somewhere in England.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, The Dig sounds like a good title for a genealogist.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because it's a fictionalized, those new things. It's a fictionalized account of things that happened, like the story of how it got dug up. But it's fiction. Fictionalized nonfiction, I guess you could say. That's the new thing. Everybody's doing that. But it's not a very big read. So Debbie Putman reminds me that I will be a guest on Are You My Cousin on the 22nd of March. That's a Facebook page, and it'll be free. Oh, and Deborah's correcting me. It's Suffolk is where the Sutton Hoo Anglo-Saxon stuff was found. It was amazing. It was a mound out in the backyard, and they started digging in it and discovered that it was like the best collection of Anglo-Saxon material anywhere, which is pretty good. And then I am also doing this thing in 2 weeks called Hacking Heritage or Hacking, I think it's Hacking Heritage, Hacking History, which is an unconference here in Providence. You ever done one of those?
No.
So there's something happening here in Providence called Year of the City, which is, so Year of the City for Providence. And then it's based on something that was done in LA. So it's a year's worth of programming relating to the history of the city. So I got a proposal in. Hopefully they're going to, I'll be able to present, but I'll be able to present on my old PVD site and ask you have to ask a question. So my question is, how do you document the history of a city? How can you do that? In pictures and using pictures and crowdsourcing.
Nice. I like that.
I'm excited because I'll get connected with the people here that I am not really connecting anymore. And somebody wants to know if we're going to be at the FGS conference this summer.
I don't know yet. I know I don't have a booth. But
I have a booth. I don't have a booth. They're not available yet.
Oh, really? Well,
I don't think so.
I don't have a booth.
Yeah, I haven't seen an announcement for a booth because I would like a booth at FGS, but I'll be there. I'm lecturing.
Well, that would be a good thing for you to show up if you're lecturing.
Yeah, I'm lecturing.
Well, then maybe they can live stream you in.
No, the conferences don't like that. They'd rather have you there in person.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, I was just trying to be amenable, trying to.
I'm glad that it worked out.
Trying to make lemons out of lemonade, or lemonade out of lemons, I guess is the way it works. Right.
Or add tequila and you have a margarita.
Right, and then there's a regional conference coming up, so that's just in 2.5 weeks. So, cross your fingers. I'm driving.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, we should wrap this up since we're being hacked by a very rude person, and it's very colorful. And I need to clean it up, and I don't know how to report him, but I will.
Yeah.
So Debbie Putman wants to know, what are the dates? The dates of which conference, Debbie? You mean the FGS conference, which is at the end of August, or the regional conference in Manchester, New Hampshire, which is the beginning of the first week in April? And I'm doing a workshop there, and there's still spots available.
Yeah, FGS is August 21st to 24th. That's FGS.
Be great. I'll see you then. I won't see you at FGS. And we'll be back in April, but
at some point.
Yeah, maybe the 11th.
Let me take a look. It would help if I get in the right year.
Yes.
Looking at 2020.
Don't look at 2020. It's a totally different.
2020. Yeah. Actually, I don't think the 11th is going to work for me, but we'll figure something out.
We'll figure out a date because I'll be at NERC speaking. So, alrighty. Amy, as usual, it's been great.
It's always fun to talk to you.
Yes. Thank you, all of you who are reporting this very rude individual. I think everyone who listens to this needs to report him. I will clean up the feed, and we will figure it out.
Yeah.
That's the wonder.
Some people just didn't learn how to play nice with others.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
All right. See you all next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.